which
which
is
is
a
a
conversation
conversation
series
series
where we
where we
bring
bring
people
people
on the
on the
inside.
inside.
The
The
last
last
one we
one we
did,
did,
my
my
colleague
colleague
was
was
saying
saying
that
that
that's where
that's
we
where we
bring
bring
people
people
that
that
has
have
the real
the
gist of
gist of
what
what
is
is
happening
happening
inside.
inside.
So
So
there's
there's
no
no
kind
kind
of
of
theory and everything.
everything.
It's just
Just
an
an
honest
honest
conversation you
conversation you
can
can
have with
have
a
with a
mentor
mentor
or
or
someone
someone
that can
that can
tell
tell
you,
you,
okay,
okay,
this
this
is
is
how
how
to
to
navigate
navigate
this
this
thing,
thing,
this
this
is
is
how
how
to
to
navigate
navigate
the real
the real
world.
world.
And
And
then
then
last one, we talked about talent gap, what it really is, and how to fix it. And trust me, it was hot. So if you've not watched it, you can go well to your
your youth,
YouTube, just
just
type
like
BCP
BCP
Origin, and you
and you
find the
find
recording there. It
it
was
was
hot.
hot.
And
And
today's
today's
own will
own will
be
be
hotter.
hotter.
I
I
want
want
us to
us to
be
be
excited. So
excited.
if
So
you
if you
are
are
excited
excited
for
for
today
today
own, I
own, I
want you
want
to
you to
drop
drop
those
those
emoji
emoji
in
in
the
the
box.
box.
I
I
want to
want to
see
see
our
our
emoji in the box.
but
Aha, thank
thank
you,
you,
Azizat.
Azizat.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Precious.
Precious.
Please, if
Please,
you
if
are
you are
excited for
excited for
today's
today's session,
session, I
I
want you
want you
to
to
I want to
I want
see
to see
our
our
emojis.
emojis.
Yeah,
Yeah,
thank
thank
you,
you,
Cherry.
Cherry.
And
And
today we
today we
have
have
two speakers, two awesome and amazing speakers. People that are on the inside come and give us how to actually stay relevant, even as the world is evolving. And our first speaker for today is Oreoluwa Ibrahim.
Ibrahim. As I
Please
please
listen
listen
attentively
attentively
as I
as I
read
read
our
the
bio
bio
now.
now.
Oreoluwa
Oreoluwa
Ibrahim is
Ibrahim is
an
an
HR
HR
professional
professional,
passionate
passionate
about
about
growth,
growth,
identity,
identity,
and
and
career
career
development.
development.
She
She
believes
believes
that
that
while
while
talent
talent
opens
opens
door,
door,
identity
identity
and
and
personal
personal
standard
standard
determine
determine
how
how
far
far
people
people
will
will
go.
go.
She's committed to helping individuals understand who they are in Christ, my God, and how that identity shapes how they live, work, and lead. To her, excellence is a state of being expressed through consistency, responsibility, and intentional living. Oreoluwa is the founder of Career Launchpad, where she supports young professionals in gaining clarity, building competence, and growing with purpose. So, audience of the Insider Convo series, please help me with a loud virtual applause to welcome Miss Oreoluwa. I want to see that applause, that emoji, to see that you are excited to listen tonight. Yeah. So we have another speaker too, and please permit me as I introduce to you Shola Jegede is a developer advocate based in Lagos, Nigeria. He writes technical content, build open source, build open source developer tooling, and partners with developer platforms to help engineers ship better products. His focus is on turning complex APIs into something teams can pick up and integrate quickly through writing, working components, and thoughtful integration design. Please join me as I welcome Mr. Shola. So, welcome, Oreoluwa, welcome, Shola. It's nice having the both of you here. Thank you so much for coming to share insight for us. So let's start with this question, and I would love Oreoluwa to answer first. Looking at how fast AI is changing everything, from jobs to industries, what do you think it takes for someone to stay relevant in today's and tomorrow's workplace? What do you think it takes for someone to stay relevant in today's and tomorrow's workplace? Do you get my question?
Yes, I did. What do I call you, Joan? Is Joan fine? Is it
Yes,
okay
my
for
name
you
is
to?
Juwon. So
Awesome.
sorry.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me, BCP. Thank you for Joan for the warm welcome. Yeah, so my name is Oreoluwa, and you said most part of it, which is I work as an HR business partner. First, I would like to mention, right? I do not share the school of thought that AI is coming to take anybody's job, right? I'm of the belief that it's a leverage. It's supposed to help you, you know, perform better on your job, supposed to make a 1 month task get done in 3 days if you're able to, navigate your way around AI, right? So I do not share that thought at all. I don't believe in that. However, how do you stay relevant? Um, I think one of the first things that we should know is that we are living in a very fast-paced, environment, and the world is changing. For you to stay relevant, the first thing is that you must be open to learning. I've been to job fairs where I meet with people that are seeking for opportunities, and I ask them, okay, so what's your plan career-wise? And they say, when I'm done with university, me, I've decided that after university, I'm not doing anything, I'm done with school. I think a lot of us said it when we were in school, when you were writing your final project, like, I beg, after this one, I don't do again. However, it is very important for us to note that you cannot thrive in this, in the career profession if you have that mindset that, once I'm done with university, I'm done learning, I just want to start counting money. It's very important for you to know that learning doesn't stop, it is continuous, right? So, first, you have to be very open to learning. You have to be open to whatever is coming out part time, right? I have my team people doing weird training that I would not have, envisioned in the last 2 years, because that is what we need as at now. Something else comes up tomorrow, we just go on with the flow straight up because we have to be ahead. Um, a lot of professionals that we're not in a very competitive, professional circle, and for you to be on top of that chart, you have to be open to learning. You have to make research on, what is trending part time and just get on it at that time so that you don't get left behind and you're wondering what changed. The same way we're doing HR 5 years ago isn't the same way it's being operated now, right? There's data helping us to translate all that is going on. So it's very important for everyone to know that for you to stay relevant, you you have to stay, you have to, be out there. Someone dropped a message and said, what of people coming? I'm trying to view. Just a minute. Okay. Since what of people AI has already taken their jobs, a lot of layoffs have been recorded and attributed to the rise of AI. Would you say they were not prepared enough or they were unfortunate? I would not use unfortunate. I mean, unfortunate is a strong word. They were not prepared enough, maybe yes, right? So, for example, when I say that I don't believe that AI is coming to take anybody's job, it speaks more to the people who are proactive and not reactive. You know, the data analysts, the researchers are already giving um, insights of what is going to happen in 2030. Some people are already looking at these insights through their career path and saying, okay, I need to move through this flow if I don't want to, be the one left out. Why some are saying, let it happen first? I don't believe it. So a lot of people that AI has taken their job is not necessarily because they're unfortunate. It's because they were not really on top of their games. And this is not in a condescending way, right? This is not in a condescending manner. Um, okay, let me give an instance. Currently, I'm trying to fill a managerial role in finance, right? Supposed to be our CFO. And I met with a few people, and these people are supposed to be old because they are in their late 40s, early 50s. And we're asking questions, right? The finance department, the HOD is currently, you know, having these interviews. We're all sitting to ask them questions and realize that the people in their 50s, right, kind of are still backward thinking. And we met with someone that was in his 30s, I think he's 34. And I just felt like this is what we want. However, the finance team is saying, we're 34 as CFO, this one will misbehave by the time we start earning this kind of money and all of those things. But as HR, I don't care if you're 17, if you're 34, if you're 52, if you're 99. If you are able to give me what I want, if you are able to be a person of value and deliver effectively what I want, I hire you. And that's how it works in the job market. I'm so sorry, I will not misbehave. That's how it works in the job market. It's beyond emotions. It's beyond I've been doing it for the past 20 years. It's what impact are you making as at now? If this is not the way we've been doing it doesn't work anymore. Are you evolving? Right? In my organization, we have a budget for L&D. So we send each employee on training every year. Some employees will even come to me and say, HR, I don't want this training you've given me. I don't pass this level. I would rather go for this. And for me, it's giving because I know, okay, you know what you're doing. You have a career plan. Some people, it's time for training. You are chasing them. It's training week. They are sick. They are down with malaria. Someone died in their family. You know, because they are just like, why are we reading? Why? But the truth is, for you to say that AI is not going to come and take your job, you have to be on top of your game. And you have to use AI as an advantage and not really a competition. So you're not competing with an artificial intelligence. You are using an artificial intelligence to leverage on where you desire to be in your career. I hope that answers your question, John.
Thank you so much. I love the fact that I said we are not competing with artificial intelligence. We are leveraging it. All right, so Mr. Shola, to you, I want to pass the question to you now. Also, looking at how fast AI is changing, do you think, or what do you think it takes for a person to stay relevant, even in today's world and even in the future?
Okay, so I want to start by giving an example of why I believe that just you knowing how to use AI is not enough. Currently, like people that have lost their job this year alone, like we are 5 months in the thousands. Nearly 100,000 people have lost their jobs. 2 days ago, the CEO of Coinbase still laid off under like 10,000 people. There are so many people whose jobs have been taken. An example I want to give has to be with the cars. Before cars, there were horses that took people everywhere. You need to have someone who could ride the horse. You need to have someone who could manage the horses, feed them, take care of the horses. You need to have someone who was able to repair the carts that the horses pulled. That was 3 people you had to hire before the motor car was made. Now, what happens with technology is that it makes some certain jobs like redundant. They just go out of place entirely. The people who are able to even hire for these roles are like very wealthy, influential people who just need people to manage their stable of multiple horses for like horse racing. Cars came into play and we now had drivers. The same thing with technology. Before the advent of technology and computers, you didn't have data scientists, you didn't have computer engineers, you didn't have front end, back end, you didn't have DevOps. You didn't have so many different roles that we have today, like thousands of roles that we had before technology came into play. The same thing is going to happen with AI, right? There are roles that are going to just disappear just because AI does it better. Even though you know how to use it very well, whether you're a writer or a video person, it's just going to be out of place. Now, should you learn how to use it and improve your own self? Definitely. Should you know how it moves, how to work with it, how to get better than other people, how to improve your skill set, how to do your work faster in a more improved manner? Definitely. But do not be blind to the fact that it's going to get to a point where it gets very good and cheap, that some roles that we currently have been out of market entirely. So how do you adapt? How do you stay ahead of the curve? You need information. You need to know what's happening. You need to know trends. You need to get more involved in like global conversations. What is happening with OpenAI and Anthropic? How are they improving their models? What new designs are in my field of work? If you're a designer, what new tools are being built? How can I use this tool? How can I be better than this tool? How can I stand out even when people are beginning to use these tools? There was a particular fund, I think, that launched a tool on X some weeks back that is able to do designs. Someone was not like, oh, if you design with this tool, how does it, what if the client wants like iterations, improvements on the designs? And then they updated the tool to be able to make iterations and still maintain the initial design it did. And that was just like in the span of days. So you could say, oh, because I know how to improve my designs, I made the design myself, I'm a designer, I'm a graphic designer or UI, UX, that makes me different. But now we have it so that it's able to still maintain the same designs that it did initially and keep on making improvements on those designs like a designer would. Now, are there designers who are a lot more better than this AI tool right now? Yes. There are some designs that AI cannot do. There are certain patterns, even when it comes to like game design and all that, AI still cannot do. It still needs to learn. That's why there are still like companies that are taking information to train these AIs. There are companies that hire experts. Still trying to know the case. Literally, they want an expert to talk to their AI, to the tools, and work with those tools. In a couple of years, it's going to replace me when it comes to like writing very good technical documentation. Right now, I currently use work, adapt to what's happening around me. Else, my work becomes irrelevant. So now, the question is, should people be worried under this opportunity? A bit of both, right? You are responsible for the models, improving them. People are responsible for make sure that these models don't make errors over time. Responsible for making sure that the output is consistent every single time. Essentially, different fields. You mentioned something about physiotherapy. There are robots that are being built that are able to mimic emotions. Right? The technology is going to really advance. We just can't be oblivious to the fact that it's not going to be very good. In Los Angeles and San Francisco now, they have full automobiles that drive themselves, like Uber. They have no drivers. Over 10,000 cars on the road. They have no drivers. 5 years ago, that was quite impossible. It would have an accident, it would stop somewhere, there were so many issues. Right now, they're working perfectly. They know how to avoid accidents, how to avoid collisions, and take to the destination and get back to the warehouse. That wasn't possible 5 years ago. Now, the people, the men in the middle, the human in the middle that's supposed to guide this thing is already out of the picture. So it's going to get better, but just really understand what's happening in the conversation. I think it's one thing that a lot of us in Africa are not very good with, knowing how to get involved or knowing how to find information, because you need to know what's happening with technology around you. You need to know how things are improving. You need to know what skills, what are they happening, what are they building that could potentially replace me or can make me better than my peers in the work I already do. So that's where I see the opportunity in just being involved in the conversation, knowing what's happening around you, knowing how they're building these models, knowing how they're improving these models. You can also get involved in the improvement of these models if you consider yourself an expert also. So, yeah.
All right, thank you so much. Like, I love the perspective they bring to the question, but then someone is asking a question that since you suggest that we should be up to date, should know what is trending, is there a way to streamline the learning process, and how do you filter out non-relevant information?
Okay, I'll say you should really focus on just your own work and how you want to get better, unless you have other skill sets. The thing is, there's so many things that are happening around you. People are building for writing, video. It could sound exciting. But for you to filter out, the first thing is to focus on just yourself. What skill sets do you have? How do you want to improve it? How do you want to be better than these models? How do you want to use these models to improve your work, to be faster? How do you want to influence what's happening to these models, how they're being built? That's where you start the filtering from. Knowing what information to consume, knowing what to look for, knowing how to see what's happening. If you could also read, because on these companies, they publish papers on what they're building, their models, how they get information for their models, how they train the models. If you like to read, you can do that. If you like to consume it differently, you can put that paper into Claude and ask it questions. That way, you're able to like filter the things that are relating to you. Even some of these models, right, and chatbots, they're able to like ChatGPT and Claude. You could tell, like, remember your name, your work, your aspiration, the goals you have. It's able to know you to an extent, have context about you as a person. If you bring in information and say, oh, this is my current work, what I currently do, read this paper, read this document, find information about me, how can I improve, or stuff. It's you can't currently do personally. I have conversation with like Claude almost every single day, just trying to stay above the curve or learn new things, try to build something I want to work on. So basically, first of all, like focus on just you. Every other thing else should be noise. If you are a UX designer and you want to start learning about video creation or what they're doing, unless it's just one that piques your interest, it doesn't concern you yet. Your work is mostly design. How do you get better? How do you stay above these models that are being built? So that's the first filter. The next one is now having more conversations with the chatbot. They are capable enough to guide you through um, anything you want to know, information you want to like filter out from different sources. So that's how.
Wow, thank you so much. So if I get you clearly, we should focus on our skills, and then we can now filter anything that is not. We can filter out the noise when we focus on our skills. We should just make sure that we are the best there.
Yes.
Uh, all right, thank you so much, sir. So, Oreoluwa, I have a question for you. So sometimes it feels like everybody else has figured life out. Like there's this pressure of, oh my goodness, this person is doing this person is doing that. But for someone feeling behind that, oh, I don't really know much, I don't have much, where do they even begin from? Did you get the question?
Yes, I did. Let's first say that know how to prove. Also saying at Microsoft, so after of intense, all of those things with the help of this person and this person and this person and dedication, and you're wondering, Kilo Shele, is it not just for you to announce that you just got a job, right? You go into that person's profile and you just assume that this person has like figured out to see big English, see, you know. So first, I would like to first say to the person that do not assume that everybody has life figured out. Because I sincerely don't think that we all have it all figured out. I feel like we are a work in process, right? And we're just taking it a step at a time. Like I said, some just have an amazing way of, packaging it that it looks like they figured it out. But for someone who is saying, I feel left behind, a lot of people look like, especially my colleagues, my mates, what do I do with my life? I would usually ask that you first do an internal search, right? First ask yourself, what exactly am I good at? If there's something that I feel like I could do even when I'm tired, if there's something I could do when it looks like the world is falling apart and it doesn't look like a job to me, what is that thing, right? So first ask exactly am I naturally good? So what problem do I enjoy solving? Um, the world would pay, right? Value attracts to someone who is ready to solve a problem. It doesn't fall on people's lap. It means that you have to be solving a problem for you to, get value in return. So it's very important to do an internal audit. What am I naturally good at? What problem do I enjoy solving? And from there you now start. First know who you are so that when the world tells you what you're not, you're able to say, okay, I can accept everything, but I am not this, right? So it's okay for you to pick a mentor in your niche. So when you've decided this is what I'm good at, this is what I want to focus on, right? It's okay for you to pick someone that you think has it all figured out, or you think this person is a role model, and start using that person as a guide. You don't necessarily have to meet your mentor one by one, right? There's not even mentorship by proxy, where you know almost everything about someone just because you follow them. You connect to them on all social media platforms. You know everything about them, even though you've not met them before. Then now tell yourself, I have a goal. I want to also look like someone who people see and think has it all figured out, right? Create a plan. 3 months, 6 months, 1 year, 2 years, 5 years, depending. And I tell people when you create this plan and it doesn't go as planned, it's okay for you to start again. So, for example, you think, okay, I think I enjoy singing, or artwork, or I want to work in the HR space. And 3 months down the line, you feel like, okay, life is miserable here. It's okay for you to go back to the drawing board and start all over again. Because in the end, all that it takes for you to look like someone that has it all figured out is being a person of value. Because naturally, opportunities and people would come to you very person of value. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much. If you enjoyed that session, I want to see that emoji. Thank you so much. Thank you very much. All right. Because if there's one thing that I understood, you said identity brings conviction. When you know who you are, you filter out every other noise and then be a person of value. Thank you so much once again. Then, Mr. Shola, this question is for you. So, you mentioned that you deal a lot with AI and all. So, with AI and technology moving fast, should young people be worried about being replaced? You said that AI has taken the job of many people and it will still take, but for young people, should they be worried or they should see it as an opportunity?
Okay, I thought it was like the last question, but yes, they should see it more as an opportunity because of like right now, there's never been like a better time to improving your skill set or in just how much you're able to command value. Like Oreoluwa mentioned, like your identity, your value, it all matters on how you present yourself also. But those who use AI correctly right now are doing like a lot better than those who are not. Just because of the sheer amount of work you can get done in a short period of time, just by the tools that are currently available in the market. So is an opportunity, yes. Should they be scared or worried? Not really, because worry doesn't really do much than just delay you. If the worry is not moving you forward, it's a waste. But like be aware of what's happening, that so many people are being laid off. A lot of them have like better skills than you do. They have worked in teams that are much stronger. They're people that are being laid off from like Amazon, Apple. They're very top of their game. They're very, very good. And they're coming back into the market with you who are still like probably a beginner or just trying to get by or improve your skill set, both from junior to mid-level or senior roles. Your competition right now is has increased because there are a lot more experts in the market, unlike before, just due to the layoffs. Now, how do you stand out? You just need to know how to distribute yourself. Aside from getting very good at your skill, if you don't know how to talk about it, people won't see it. People don't see what you're good at. You either won't get hired or you'll be paid for your value. So you need to know how to like distribute what you do and also see the opportunity that exists because of AI.
All right, thank you so much, sir, for that answer. Thank you very much. So, I want to ask this question. When you meet people and tell them this is what I'm facing, this is this, I want to be relevant. Everybody will keep saying learn skills, build your brand, personal branding, network with people. But from your own point of view, what do you think makes someone stand out today? I mean, you said you're HR professional and
Mhm.
so what do you think someone can do that can make them stand out beyond all these learning skills, building brand, networking, and all?
So personally, right, to build a great brand for me, it's beyond all of those noise. Would be being a person of value and also having a proof of competence. And it's funny because it might come off as, what do you mean proof of competence? We are in a world, right, where people have certifications. And this might be me ranting, right? Because there are times that even for my career choice, I'm trying to fill a role and I've gone through amazing CVs. I've sometimes I've gone through CVs and I'm telling my colleague, oh more, forget it, this is the person. Because of how put together the CV is. During the interview, you're asking, can you introduce yourself? And you're in tears that this can be the person on paper. because of course we are in a generation where AI can refine your CV in 2 minutes. With the nice ATS, and HR is wild. Even the ATS is being scammed in quotes, right? Until it gets to interview level and you are amazed, right? So the proof of competence comes at the point where you are able to prove, right, that you are a person of value. And sincerely, what really stands out beyond the technical, of course, you have to know your onions and you have to be good at what you do, would be strong communication skills. How reliable and how professional can you be? Emotional intelligence. I mean, this cannot be overemphasized. Problem solving ability, and your ability to be able to solve problems, right? Spot on. I give an instance. There are individuals that when they want to apply for leave and they say they're applying for 15 days leave, it's like, okay, have an amazing trip. And there are individuals that when they apply for 15 days, I am legit begging and negotiating. Can you do 7 days first? Because these people are individuals that when they leave that team for 15 days, we might have a problem. And this does not necessarily really speak to this person is a manager or a middle level person. It speaks to just being a person of value, whether you're an officer, whether you're a cleaner, whether whatever role that you are. And I tell people that your brand is beyond what you have online or what you have on your CV. It's your experience that people have when they meet you, when they work with you. It's what the team is able to say when you're not there. My A lot of people will say they have a problem working with Gen Zs. I would say I don't, right? To tell you if you're a Gen Z that you know your onions. I sincerely don't. Do you get the job done? Are you a person of value? Of course, then it's fine. So beyond all the noise, of course, it's okay for you to connect with people. It's okay for you to, brand yourself, look amazing on LinkedIn, do a lot of things. But beyond all of that, all that matters is substance. Beyond the noise, it's substance. What happens when you join a team after 3 months, right? Can there be like a point to this is how amazing this person has been in the last 3 months, or are we running at a loss because this person joined us? So summary is in all that you do, understand that you have to be open to learning, you have to apply your learning, and you have to overall be a person of value because that's what makes you stand out beyond the noise and all that is being said. Yeah.
Thank you so, so much. Thank you very much for that amazing question. So I know that, no, I'm guessing that there are a lot of Gen Z here. Please know your onions. People are already complaining Gen Z this, Gen Z that. Let's know our onion. I'm a Gen Z too, so. uh All right, if you have question, please, I want you to start noting them down. I want you to start noting your question down. There'll be room for question and answer very soon. Yeah, Mr. Shola, this question is for you. Uh, Looking at how the industry is evolving, what skill do you think that people are currently underrating? Looking at how technology is evolving, what skill do you think that people are underrating? Maybe many people don't know that the skill is an hot cake, or those skills that I think, this skill, it is relevant. Do you get that?
Yeah, I did. So I would say the very first skill is being able to niche, like being very particular about what you do. Take for example, you're someone who does sales or marketing. Can people find out information from AI about it? Yes. But if you're someone who does sales and marketing with particular type of business, and you're able to show without proof, like with proof that over time, month over month, business over after business, you're able to give consistent results, that becomes your niche, where someone knows you as the kind of person who is very capable with this type of business itself. Now, the other one is taste. There are some people who go into design, who go into front end, back end, but they don't have the taste to truly build exceptional software or design exceptional like designs. So AI now, for example, is able to remove like the bottleneck on producing so many designs at scale. Anyone can ship anything with AI. But the differentiator now becomes your judgment. What is worth building? What to cut out? What is actually really good from your designs? That particular taste itself is built by consuming a lot of like high quality work in your specific domain. You need to know how to form like a defensible opinions about why something works, about why this person or this group A will like it and the next group won't like it, about what exactly comes out to the public and is accepted by the public. The people that have tried so many different things when it comes to design and oh, it looks ugly. The same way you see how people talk about Chowdeck's design and they hail a particular designer that you go hired by Chowdeck and people can tell that, oh, this designer, this is his designs because the taste is there. It can be seen, it's visible across every single thing that they go into, no matter which one it is. It could be food, it could be fintech, right? So taste is very rare, and with professionals right now, it's one thing that I think AI doesn't have yet. You see so many AI generated videos and pictures. Some look copy and paste, they look the same because they're all fetching the designs from like the same data model that's been acquired. So the taste right now is important when it comes to standing out in like in your skill set. Then I think the other one would be knowing how to talk to customers and to talk to people. A lot of people like to do remote work just because they don't like interact with other people. They could be introverts or they just want to like stay in their own space. But knowing how to sell something, knowing how to have a conversation with people, the humanity that comes with your work is very important. A lot of people don't have that. How do you solve someone's problem? I want a logo, that's a problem. It's not just a design, it's not just a work. It's that I want a particular logo for my business. How do you take our conversation or get information from me that what you bring to me as the end result, I love you so much. So that conversation is very rare. Like, and right now it's like extremely valuable because AI can do so many different things except sit across with people and have a conversation with a human being and then figure out what they actually need to solve their problem. So I'll say having taste, niching down, and also talking to people, like the human connection that involves your work. Then, just like you already mentioned, I would mention like writing because it can write a lot of good stuff. There are a lot of like AI tools that are being used to detect AI in writing, but how to exceptionally write well that people know that this is your writing and it can tell a story, it can move people, it can create movement, it can get people to feel something. That is still very rare. AI cannot really do that yet. It's why it's still unable to produce movies. I love movies myself. I'm a scriptwriter, though like beginner scriptwriter. I'm not like an excellent scriptwriter, but AI cannot really like stories that move people. The movies you watch, the scenes that you see in movies that bring you to tears at times, AI cannot do that. That is taste also in writing. And writing is really very important when it comes to anything. The greatest pieces that have been made in the world, the greatest movements that have been started in history, all came through writing. Someone sat down and put ideas to paper. So it's something that AI will not be able to like replicate in a very long time.
Oh, thank you very much for that amazing answer. About that writing, I know there are some of us, especially when I was younger. Anytime I see some movie, I would just be crying because I'm like, and my mom would be like, "Why are you crying over a movie?" So I believe that AI does not have that emotional intelligence to cause someone to like cry or someone to really feel a movie like that. Thank you so much, Sam. Um, I hope you are enjoying this conversation. If you are still enjoying this conversation, please let me see your emoji. I want to be sure that we are still enjoying this. And I want to be sure that you are gaining something. All right. Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. So, Oreoluwa, I have a question for you, and that is how do, since you've interacted more with young professionals, I want to ask that how do young professionals stay ambitious without being consumed by comparison and trend? How do you still, yeah, how do you avoid being burnt out? How do you avoid being consumed by is it LinkedIn? LinkedIn. When you go to LinkedIn, you see this, you see that, and you're like, oh my goodness. But how do you still stay ambitious even without being consumed by comparison?
Okay, interesting. Okay, so for comparison, right? One of the things I would say jokingly is define success for yourself before social media defines it for you. I've seen situations where individuals will say, in the next 2 years, I want to have this certification, I want to have my master's. That's my goal career wise. And you're fine with it until you went on LinkedIn and you saw a 22 or a 23-year-old person saying, after concluding my master's last year, I'm happy to announce that I have this certification and this. And in that moment, you're back to what am I doing with my life, right? So it's very important for you to define success for yourself. For me, as a person, as an individual, what does it mean to be successful at this time? Before social media, LinkedIn, Instagram defines it for you, right? Comparison can be dangerous, right? And it can also be used as an advantage. Depends on what is fueling it. If what is fueling your comparison is, envy, is greed, is all of those things, it's a problem. But if it is passion, if you are just passionate and you're very open to be a better version of yourself, right? So you can also channel comparison to a great way. So I have a friend of mine that for every time I finish a course and I say, if I don't finish this course, she say, you don't finish, okay, me say I go run now. Do you understand? So we kind of hold ourselves as accountability partners, right? It's not necessarily us comparing because we want to be better than each other. It's just a way of saying 9 to 5 is not an excuse. Business is not an excuse. I can do it also, right? Also, I think ambition can be very healthy, right? If it is connected to growth, if it's connected to impact, to fulfillment, and not just validation, not just let them know that myself don't arrive, right? Ambition can be very, very healthy. However, if you're a professional and you're building long term, do not compare yourself with someone who is just what is raining per time and let me up on it. And I think that is the challenge that I currently have with, maybe our generation. We have individuals just waking up to say, what is currently trending us at now, right? You jump on it, it feels, or maybe it doesn't even feel. Maybe you get tired, you jump on the next big thing, you jump on the next big thing. I'm not saying do not evolve. I'm not saying do not become a better version of yourself, but create a niche for yourself. Create, let people know you with a particular thing. Sometimes you're going through CV and you see customer service, human resource, admin manager, fleet manager, workshop. And I say, all these experiences, okay, do you want to be the MD or the CEO of the organization? Because it's even hard for me to track to say, this is what I think you are doing, or this is what I think that you are doing for yourself. So it's very important for you to create a niche for yourself. Let what is foiling your ambition not be, competition or unhealthy rivalry, but ambition and impact. For someone like me, I am very big on impact. I believe that whatever you do should be beyond you, me, myself, and myself, right? It should be how are you impacting your world positively, right? So over time, it's very important for people to first understand what is my definition of success at this time. And it is okay for this to change yearly because the more exposed you are, the more experienced you are, the more you are thinking of, the possibilities of what could happen. Think about it first. The idea is crazy. This what I have in my head is crazy. But yeah, still think about it. But part time create a success pattern for yourself so you are able to measure growth. I wanted to do this and this at the end of 2026. Am I able to complete that? Okay, so yes, I have moved a step ahead. Create a plan for the next year, like that, like that. Also, please give yourself permission to grow at your own pace, Give yourself permission to grow. The career that is currently trending might look like the best thing as of now. In the next 5 years, it might not even be it, right? So give yourself the permission to grow at your own pace. Don't pressure yourself. Like I said, people just have better ways of packaging themselves, and that's why we think that they are better off. Look at yourself in the mirror and say, "Me self no small, be a daddy." There are times I'm thinking, alright. It's like I just say, no, I beg, you say I'm not small. Is it easy? If it easy, say, make someone else run now, right? Do not look little in your own eye. And I'm a Christian, right? There's this scripture that says, the path of the just is as a shining light. It shines more and more until the perfect day. So understand that you might start small now, but there's a bigger and a better future, right? So see the bigger future, hold on to that, and let that fuel your passion and not envy, bitterness, or unhealthy rivalry. Thank you.
Oh, thank you so much, Ma, for that. Thank you very much. Thank you so much. And do you want to say something about that, Mr. Shola?
No, I think she covered everything. Just niching down, still, yes, I'm being a very passionate with yourself. I'm also giving yourself time to grow. I feel a lot of times myself, and I keep on trying to reinvent myself every time. So there's a process for everything.
All right, thank you so much. So I want to ask this question. If someone leaves this webinar or if someone is still confused, okay, they are just saying, go, don't burn out, don't burn yourself out. What is that practical step that you advise them to do tonight? If someone is still feeling confused about where to start, what do you think you would tell them to do first?
Okay, I could say either you open a chatbot, could be ChatGPT, Claude, Perplexity, and then try to do one very small thing that you could not do yesterday. Could be a new design pattern, could be a new type of application you want to build. If you're a software engineer, could be learning a particular tool in the market, and then just try to do just one thing with it. It could even be like writing code emails. There are people who know code emails to reach out to companies or to put themselves in front of people that it could tell you to help you like draft and you send a code email like tonight throughout the conversation. It could be that you build a one-page landing page for like the 5 word of an essay, argue a position that you believe in. Right. I've also used that to do that also. You could also automate a tax. You could learn it's called tools for, let me use an example for like some weeks back, this automate DMs. You know this kind of post where someone say type in the word like okay or DM or sin in the comments, you get a link from me. It's automated. You can learn how to make that kind of automation using make.com. And you can learn how to use that to either by watching a video or just like chatting with an AI. So the output doesn't really matter when it comes to learning this thing. Just sit down with an AI tool and ask about something that you know you actually don't know about at all. Just try to learn how to do something and then do it. A very little task. Now, what matters is you being able to like collapse the gap between like an idea that you have in your head and then executing that idea from weeks to just tonight. A lot of people will spend like the next year watching many tutorials. I put always like in this tutorial hell, learning over and over again, getting so many courses, but not trying to like apply it into their everyday working tasks. But if you want to like actually pull ahead, you need to know how to start something, learn how to use it, learn how to ask questions. There's also like prompt engineering. Now, for you to know how to prompt better, you need to know how to conversate and talk with these AI tools. You need to know how to interact with them, how to ask questions that will give you the outputs that you're looking for. That is correct. You treat the AI tool as a co-worker than like a topic or something that scares you. Right. So if you're able to like do this every single night for say 14 days or 30 days, you'll be able to have like a measurable skill set that you've learned. That could be knowing how to prompt better or building so many different things every single night. You could build a landing page every single night for 14 days, a different one on something you want to sell, or for a friend, or for a product, or for a service. You could write an essay every single night. You send a code email every single night. Now, the thing you could end up doing is over time, you add your taste into it, the way you perceive things, the way you understand things, the thing that's very unique to you, how you talk, how you write, how you speak. That could be what you now improve over time with the output given to you by the AI. That makes it unique to you at the end of the day. But just pick one thing you want to do, send an email, write an essay, write an article for Medium, anything, just one particular thing you want to do that you know you can finish and sit down with like an AI tool, any of them. They're very free to use, they're free to use, and like produce something with it. Over time, you get more curious and try other things.
Oh, thank you so much for that answer, sir. So, if you have any question now, please, I want you to start dropping it in the chat box, or you can just raise up your hand. So, when I take this answer, we are going to dive into it. Yeah, Oreoluwa, I have this one question for you. You said you love working with Gen Z. So I want to ask you this question that when you strip away social media noise and online prayer, what does true relevance really look like? I mean, for this answer is for Gen Z, right? Gen Z, right? So when you strip away social media noise and online prayer, what does true relevance really look like?
Okay, so beyond all the social media noise, I think true relevance would be measured by being a person of value. And this cannot be overemphasized, right? I scream value, value, value because I've been in situations where management has agreed on a lot of things, pay, benefits for a particular role. And I just, have a candidate that is a person of value. And we find ourselves negotiating and going back to the drawing board just to entertain a particular talent. And I've been in situations where, the budget for the role is 450K and the person says, are you able to? And I'm like, you that were even trying to manage to just close this role. I beg, come and be going, right? What differentiates you from the other person is being a person of value. And what does being a person of value mean as at now? I think it would be being able to take initiative, right? A lot of people are waiting to be told, to be encouraged. We even have professionals that are waiting for the employers to tell them, please go on training. We have professionals that are just waiting. They're just, let me just do the job and get paid. First, I share this mindset that you can get paid doing what you enjoy doing. I don't believe that you have to suffer to, earn a living. I don't share that thought. You can get paid doing what you enjoy doing. However, once you've identified what you enjoy doing, what makes you different is being a person of value. Over and over again, is there a gap when you're not around, or is it just okay, right? Whether you're absent for a day, 2 months, is it just normal? Is it the normal thing? Are you able to take initiative, right? Are you able to unlearn, to relearn, and be open to feedback? Are you able to grow and be intentional about your own growth, even beyond your career? In all that you do, are you able to say, okay, so I understand that this is what I used to believe. However, it is wrong, and I'm open to learning so I can be a better version of myself. Every day, just be open to learning, be open to growing. If you're a professional and you don't even have, you know, a learning plan or a learning curve for yourself, as of now, I think you should just go back to the drawing board. And it does not have to be a very expensive training. You can start from Coursera, you can start from Udemy, you can start from, even ChatGPT. Ask questions, curiosity to learn, curiosity to be a better version of yourself day in, day out, right? So I think it's very important for you to be a person of value and also be a problem solver. There are individuals that when they get on a project, the line manager would say, okay, if it is Matthew on this project, it's fine. Whereas there are individuals that you have to micromanage them. I mean, hello, how are you? Good morning. Have you eaten this morning? Okay, just following up on that task. Say I'm on it. 3 p.m. You are calling because you know that if you don't follow up again and again, you're not going to get anything done, right? So it's very important for you first to be open to learning, be a person of value, be a problem solver, be ready to unlearn and relearn. And, at the peak of it all, stay open to growth and learning because there's always better. There's always a better version, whether we like it or not. And we don't get to that point where we say, I have arrived because where you say I have arrived is another person's starting point. So just be open to learning per time. So yeah.
Thank you very much, Ma. Be open to learning, unlearn, be open to growth. Thank you so much. So if you have your question, you can do well to raise up your hand or you can drop it in the chat box if you don't want to talk. And I'll be expecting the question. Do you have a question? I mean, a lot has been said tonight, and I want to believe that a lot of us are living here better than we came. So if you are a person just starting out, or you can make use of these AI tools rather than feeling threatened by them. There's ChatGPT, there is Gemini, and we have, is it Claude now? We have a lot of AI tools that you can be, so you can just ask questions, look within yourself. Oh, what is that one thing that I love to do? How can I improve on it? Please, I'm still expecting our question. Do you have a question? And be a person of value. Make sure that you are good. People know that, oh, if I give this person this work, he or she is able to do it well. Questions? Huh. Don't tell me, is it Okikiola Nimi? You don't have a question? I'll start calling your names now. Precious, do you have a question? Oreoluwa, okay, sorry. Success, do you have a question? Lua Sheyi, do you have a question? Shekaina, Faith. Oh, okay. Matthew, how about you? Do you have a question? Jerry, do you have a question? Oh, all right. So if there is no question, I want us to do one last thing before we leave. So I want, when is volunteer? All right. So someone is asking a question. We have a question here. Says, when is volunteer work enough? Hmm. When is volunteer work enough? Mark, can you answer the question, please?
Okay. So by when is volunteer work enough? Are you asking at what point do I stop volunteering? Is that it? So
Samuel?
are you asking, at what point can I stop volunteering? Awesome. Okay, so I think there was a question that Shola had answered when he was mentioning, you can decide to create a landing page using AI every day for you to just understand, what exactly you're good at. One of the other things that you can do also, if you're trying to test the waters and decide on what exactly you're good at, is volunteering. And a lot of people underestimate the power of volunteering because most times you don't usually get paid or you get stipend, right? However, if you're trying to gain a learning curve, right? If you're someone who is saying, I'm trying to decide if I want to go into tech or I want to go into this, right? I would also advise that you volunteer. And there are lots of NGOs that you can volunteer, even in your church, in your mosque, communities around you, where you can volunteer in that department that you've, decided you want to create a niche for yourself in. And then In the course of doing the work, 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, you now decide, is this something I want to do long term, or is it something I do not want to do? Volunteering is not enough at a set time. After 1 month, you can decide, okay, this is what I want to do. Someone else is saying it took me 6 months for me to decide. It took me a year for me to decide. For me, I would say volunteering will be enough when you are able to do the job excellently well, right? At that point where you're able to do that job excellently well and get paid for it, right? Then it is enough. I give myself as an instance. I went to OAU, Obafemi Awolowo University, and I studied English language. When I was in university in 200 level, I had volunteers of about 400 at that time. I just joined. I was, I think I was almost, very young. And I realized anytime there was a problem, anytime there was an issue, you will find me there. You say, so how do you will find me in that conversation. You will just find me there naturally. And I would say, what of us doing this? They say, no, it will not work. Okay, let's do this. Do you understand? And over time, I was just doing that. And someone said to me, Ore, you should be HR. And I'm like, why? Said, because, you're someone who understands, the structure. You like interacting with people, and you just find it in the middle of problem. HR are always, solving problems. And I'm like, okay. So right from 200 level in the university, I started research, went to HR as a 300 level, and I was volunteering. I was not paid. It was one of the most ethic thing I've done in my life, one unpaid job. But I didn't care because I wanted that experience. So when I was done with school, I wrote on my CV that I had 2 years of experience. And it's crazy because have you worked? Have you been paid? Wow, come on, 400 volunteering. And the first job I got, right? I I saw that you needed to have at least 2 years of experience to get the job as an HR officer. And I just went for the interview. My sister was like, at least go and learn. If they tell no, you understand what it's, meant and all of those things. And at the interview, I was already vibing with the recruiter. We're just saying, Haure, I see that, me, I was already bragging. Manage 400 plus. A lot of people don't brag enough about these volunteering roles because you think it's a waste because you're not getting paid. I was bragging on my CV. Manage 400, recruited over 100 people in the space of 2 years, a lot of things. She said, wow, amazing. Then she looked at my CV and said, okay, I see everything, but I don't even see a result. You went to where you right? And I'm like, sorry. So I left school in December. I went to where you, there's still no result. Say, so it means you're not a graduate. I said, no, I'm a graduate because I know I cannot type. She was just having a kilo she at that time. Get. And the funny story is I got that role, even though there were people with 2 years of experience that were also interviewed. I think we were three at that time. When I came in, I asked her, Misty, why did I get this job? And she said, first, the audacity you have amazes me, right? Secondly, our organization we are less than 100, and I see that you volunteered in an organization of over 400. That is fascinating. Do you understand? So volunteering is never a waste. When you are able to do that thing that you're volunteering and not getting paid for, you're able to do excellently well, right? Get paid for it, deliver maximally. I think you're good. But if you realize that, okay, I think I'm not there, I'm still learning, it's okay for you to give yourself time. We all have different pace at which you learn. I volunteered for 3 years, right? So until you are able to do that thing excellently well and deliver, your best, please don't stop volunteering. But once you're convinced, right, that I'm able to do this, and people can attest to the fact that you're able to do this excellently well, then at that point you can go into a paid gig. I hope that answers your question, Samuel.
Oh my God. Wow. Is it Samuel? Did that answer your question? Or is this still on the call? Okay, yes. Thank you so much, Ma. Yeah, there's another question, which is how do you stay relevant in a workplace where there is no proper recognition of work done? Yeah, that there are some work that it will just be that you're just doing work, and then so how do you stay relevant in that kind of workplace? Do you want to answer
Hmm.
that? Okay.
I mean, this is interesting because it happens a lot. For some people, the factor is because you have a line manager, so the team members are not being known. For some, it's the organization not being structured enough. Once you realize that there is no proper recognition in the organization, that is a subtle way that growth might be a little bit difficult in that space. So the first thing I would advise is while still doing your job, start creating an exit plan. Start creating an exit plan to say, you know, I know that I am doing the job, right? And you're saying, okay, so I need to be in a better place. Because for you to understand that, there's no recognition, it means that it's a pattern and you've noticed it. So start creating an exit plan once you realize that there's a lot of sabotage going on in the organization, or maybe there's no structure. Create an exit plan while you're at it. Start actively looking out for a better job in a more structured organization. So in structured organization, what we do is at the point where you're being onboarded, we created a career plan for you. Whether you want to be in organizations means in 3 5 years you are going towards maybe a managerial role, for some roles maybe in 10 years, right? So that helps you to want to be on your toes for you to achieve it. Because once you are 10 years in an organization and you're not growing, it's a problem on us as HR to say, maybe we made a bad decision hiring you, or maybe you need a replacement, right? So if you're an organization that is not well structured, please start creating an exit plan or organizations that will reward you. I know that a lot of us have the toxic HR mindset. I promise you, we are good people, right? HR is someone that is open to communication. Please walk up to them to say, excuse me, ma. You might even create a presentation slide, the year that you joined the organization, what you've achieved over time, this and this. Make sure that whatever you're doing, you're focused more on your achievements and not just roles and responsibilities. Because anybody would have done that. What you've been able to achieve. Then communicate from that standpoint. In my organization, once you get a certification, you're already in HR. HR, I passed my ICANN, no, meaning that my price has gone up. Sincerely, I've done this, so meaning that my price has gone up. Do you understand? So you might want to communicate with your HR or your line manager. If you see that it is not working, please start being on the lookout. Unless it's your daddy's company. If it is not your daddy's company, I beg you, take your own career personal and be on the lookout for somewhere better, that pays you more, rewards you, and sees you for the job that you do. I hope that answers your question. I didn't get the name of the person.
Does that answer your question, Mr. Tolu? And yes, do you have something to say about that, Mr. Shola?
I think she answered everything when it comes to like finding an exit plan and all. But then you can also celebrate your own achievements online. There are a lot of people who work remotely, who work in organizations where they don't really do this whole, oh, this person did this, or celebrate achievements for their employees. So you just keeping track of your own achievement, what you're able to do, the tasks you have completed, big goals you're able to have like done in the organization also helps. Like talking about this on social media, on LinkedIn, on Twitter. That's it, like also a very good way to have your own record that you can use in future organizations where they can see what you did, like documented properly. So yes, sharing your story.
Oh, thank you. We are going to take just one more question. And that is, if you work multiple roles that align with your ambition, how can you build your personal brand to document the work that you are doing across all of those organizations in a way that it wouldn't cause clashes? Do you get that, ma? Or should I come again?
Please, I think I need you to go again.
All right. So the person meant that if you work multiple roles that align with your ambition, how can you build your personal brand to document the work you are doing across all of those organizations in a way that wouldn't cause clashes?
Hmm.
Align with different part of your skill set. So how do you document that?
I think branding is very key, right? I think branding is very key. I use myself as an example, right? I currently work as HR. I have a recruiting and a career firm called the Career Launchpad, where we train young professionals to navigate their way in the career world. I have a podcast, right? I do all of these things. And when you hear Oreoluwa Ibrahaim, for someone that knows me, the first thing that pops up their head is HR, already HR, right? When you hear BTV, you know Ore is not in an HR office. She's she's in a ministry office because I'm a very bold Christian, right? If I say that myself. So one of the things that I think you should do is branding. Brand yourself in a way where each of those career paths can stand, or career choices can stand on their own without conflicting one another. If you currently have just one social media page where for instance, I post HR, I post recruitment, I post training, and I post scriptures. I'm sure they're wondering, who are you? But I have different platforms that speak to different audiences. I even have a business. On my business page, to my staff, I am someone else. When I get to the office, I wear the HR cap. When I'm in the studio for the podcast, I am wearing a different cap, right? So it's okay for you to brand yourself in a way that people can differentiate between all of these things, right? Also, so that people do not mistake, all of these things and say, what exactly is this person known for? For each of these things, let them know you consistently for something and let it speak over time. What happens is, over time, it gets into people's subconscious. So whether you say your name or not, they just know that this is the person, right? So, for example, if I say carbonated drink to Nigeria, if you're to name top three, Coca-Cola is going to be there because Coca-Cola has created a niche. Dangote produces cement, produces sugar. I mean, you would say, what is the correlation between sugar and cement? But what Dangote has done is be able to create a niche for Dangote cement, Dangote sugar, Dangote flour, so that each person, based on the target audience for each of those purpose or those career plan, would align to that part of you per time. So first communicate to us. Let us know what you are doing so we are clear on the use of these things, right? And brand them so that there's a clear distinction between all of them and it doesn't confuse both yourself and we, the audience. I hope that answers your question.
answered that question. You answered. Do you have anything to say, Shola? Is it one thing you would leave us with tonight?
Well, one thing I'll leave you guys with tonight is just keep learning, keep looking for information, keep staying above the curve, keep trying to know what's happening. It's just what I know that's helped me do so many things. Before I got into DevRel, I did marketing for a couple of years. In fact, I've done so many things. Like a lot of my friends know that I have changed careers in the past 6 years. I was also a painter in university. I paint walls. I went into marketing. I had a carryover for like 2, 3 years. I got fired. Then I found a way to brand myself. Started looking for clients on Telegram that were interested in me doing marketing for their ship on demand businesses. They had like their full time job, wanted like a side business. I'll be like the marketer for them, connected them with content creators. Then I went into startups. I founded a startup for content creators and brands in 2022 that I ran for like 2 years, grew to like 1,000 users. Didn't make so much money, lost a lot of savings, got into debts. And then I sat down back again in 2024 to truly understand what I really like doing, which was writing. Earlier before like all of this, trying to navigate, making money, I like to write stories, scripts. I even did a short film in university. So, and then I started learning more about like the software that I used to build. So I was also like software engineer. I like to like write code, build out different products, like sort of I built myself. But how do I now bring in a particular skill that I already had, knowing how to write and communicate ideas to people, to talking about these new things I was learning? I saw a new tool come out online. People are really using it. People had questions. I could communicate how they should use it better. I could teach about how they could use it better. I could create videos. So you really need to like keep on reinventing yourself, finding what works for you. Like what she mentioned, some answers previously, that you need to be able to find something that you can do even if you don't get paid for it. Something you enjoy doing. Like you can get woken up any time of the day and you just get to it and you still enjoy performing that task. If you're able to like bring a cohesiveness between your job and your interest, it goes like eventually it's going to work for you. You just keep on reinventing yourself, find out new ways to do what you do better. If something doesn't work for you over time, if you're not enjoying it, like no skill set is even lost. There are times that I've gotten opportunities and offers just because I was one startup founder, just for that being on my CV that I did this one time. So no opportunity is lost, no role is ever lost. Any skill you're able to learn and bring on board to your skill set works for you. There are so many ways that I have used my marketing knowledge for the things I did. Like I didn't even have to hire like a marketer that I grew to over 1,000 users. Just because I had the skill set already in order to like market my business and market stuff for people. So just keep on learning, keep on researching, keep on knowing what's happening around you, but still focus on your niche, focus on what you have like genuine interest in. If you don't have interest in it, you can only take it for so long before you just end up quitting and oh, I'm tired of this or this is tiresome. You don't enjoy it again. There has to be a form of enjoyment or relaxation into what you're kind of doing. So yeah, just keep learning and make sure that you align with your interest.
All right, reinventing yourself, keep on learning, keep on researching, and knowing what you do, knowing how to do what you do best. Thank you so much. Please, if you really enjoyed our speakers tonight, I want you to drop in the chat box that thank you so much. I want you to appreciate them in the chat box. That thank you so much for sharing their insight because I know that a lot of us have really gained a lot. So if you know you've gained a lot, I want you to, say it that thank you so much. So I really want to thank our speakers. Thank you, Sholas. Thank you, Oreoluwa. Thank you to everyone who stayed in this session from beginning to the end. Thank you so much for coming around. And I really please follow us on all our social media platform. That's BCP Origins. You can follow us on Instagram as BCP Global, then X BCP Origin, LinkedIn BCP Origin, and on YouTube we are also BCP Origin. So in case you want to catch up with this recording later with this session, you can just do well to go on YouTube and all. so you can follow us too. So thank you to the speakers, thank you to the organizer, thank you to BCPS. It's because of you that we can gather here to learn about this. Thank you so much for joining tonight. And I really hope you have a wonderful night rest. Thank you so much once again. Have a good evening. Yeah. Bye.
Bye.
Mm.
Thank you. Bye, everyone.